This is a wonderful place for students to learn why they believe what they believe, to discover God anew, to see Jesus in their own life and in the lives of their friends, and to walk side by side with people who can strengthen your faith.
I think about my time at Lipscomb and how almost 10 years ago my parents were dropping me off as a new freshman 2 hours away from home. My dad's crying, and I think about how quickly this community embraced me as a student and saw the gifts in me and just wanted to grow those. And I think about how incredible now, all this time later, getting to do that same job. So as a campus minister, I get to see these gifts in new students and get to empower them to kind of touch into their own gifts.
20 years ago when I started as a freshman, I had individuals really invest in me and that loved me during this period of transition and growth. Now that I am their age, when they taught me, it's really been a highlight to get to try to pour into students in the same way. I really want to forge relationships and help facilitate my students' spiritual gifts in the same way that my professors did for me.
We get to spend a lot of time talking about how great the department is and how great our academics are, but the real thing that sets our department apart, that sets the university apart, is the kind of relationships that we have with students.
Fostering a relationship with students, I think, is something that Lipscomb does naturally. You find out about what makes people tick, about what their real passions are. And some come here without really knowing what their passions are. And so it's nice to be able to talk through some of that and to see how their unique strengths can be used to benefit the people around them. You're unique. Your combination of strengths may be very different from everybody else on campus, and God gave those to you for a reason. Do what's best for you. Serve where God needs you most. Figure out what it is that you can do for the kingdom.
As part of campus ministry, we get to grow these students and walk alongside them as they are becoming who God created them to be. And so I think about the community aspect here at Lipscomb and the relationships that I made and meeting my husband and finding a job at the end of college and these experiences that I had that I think anywhere else would be like none other. And it wasn't just because of this institution, but because of the people that are here on campus.
At a lot of universities, academic performance is really a cutthroat business where students are competing against each other to make the grades. Here at Lipscomb, the competition isn't with each other, it's within yourself. And all of the students sort of work together, support each other. It's very much like a family. And because it's more like a family, these kids grow so much more, not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, emotionally, in every way that you can measure it.
It's not just about come to school, go to class, make good grades. I want you to study the things that make you a better person. I want you to figure out what it is that you can offer the world. How can you best use your strengths for God? And that's a journey. And none of us knows at the beginning of the journey where we're going to be at the end of it.
There's a lot of anxiety about sending my kids off to kindergarten. I can only imagine what it's like sending my kids off to college. I know that will be a transition and a rites of passage. And yet I just feel like just as my kids were really challenged and were happy, much happier than I could ever imagine when they went to school, I feel like here there's this community that will push and challenge and encourage them and walk with them during great times, to laugh and to have fun, but also, during darker periods or just periods of growth.
One of the ways that I have tended to think of my relationship with students is that I am always very reticent to give them advice. The thought that the process that I go through, if this was my kid sitting in a faculty member's office, what would I want that faculty member to say to them? And so we do take very seriously, I take very seriously the notion that that conversations that are had about important things can have a significant impact on the trajectory of a whole life. And so I do, as a parent, want the same thing to happen with my own sons. And I take seriously trying to honor the expectations that other parents have for us when their students are sitting in our classrooms or sitting in our offices or walking with us around campus. It's a wonderful place to be, and it's a wonderful time to be at Lipscomb.